Pudding and pie. Haha. My dog's name's Halif. Just to let you know.
Hello and welcome to this Monday's edition of Movie News here at MBE. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. I am Stephen John McLaughlin, one of your co-presenters. The other co-presenter is John C. Walsh, the man that's
Christopher
here
Peter Walsh.
5 days a week. I'm only here 3. I'm the part-timer. He's the full-timer. We've also got the part-timer Harley at my side.
If only I could show you my incredible Fox Red Labrador, who's the best looking thing
John,
in this room.
One time when we're doing maybe a
trailer
reaction, we could maybe get him involved in it. We'll get a cut out of him.
Harley's looking into my eyes just
how
now.
Beautiful this big boy is. But
it really is a beautiful, beautiful animal.
Yeah.
Incredible hazel eyes.
I was going to just go right into the show there, John,
yes.
but actually we've had a bit of an issue, folks. We are reviewing Telepathy. That is the Rujinikinth
1991
film from 1991. We've had a hard time. Myself, John and Ruth tried to track down a version that has English subtitles.
Well,
we think we might have got it because there was a point, John, where I was thinking maybe the poll did go to 41% with that, and I can't remember what the other film was called, from 1999. I think it was the top film on the poll, and I thought we might have to switch it, but I think you've got a solution, fingers crossed.
Yeah, we have got another, but Stephen, there's another auction in there, and we may exercise that as well.
Right, okay, right.
There's another auction, which
it might not be legal.
which no, it just involves paying £3 odds.
All right, okay, yeah. For a 1991 film, I think that's a bit shocking for Amazon.
But the issue with that is, Stephen, is also we will both be watching that, and it's a 48-hour window, and I tend to watch mine a bit later, so it may be an issue in terms of timing.
The film's only 2.5 hours anyway, so it's possible.
So we'll see what we can do.
We'll get
There's another option.
We will get another. We always do. But anyway, we're going to talk about Clint Eastwood, the legend that is. He explains why he's still making movies in his 1990s.
Where is she?
90s. But John,
do you think that's who Christian Bale was modelling his Batman voice on?
Could be. Could be. Very, very rough voice, John. But that was put on. Clint Eastwood's voice is very much real.
A WWE
91-year-old actor and director Clint Eastwood reflects on his long Hollywood career and explains why he continues to make movies in his old age. Now, before I get into reading this, John, I know you're a massive fan of Clint Eastwood.
I certainly
and
am.
we will get into that. My dad's a massive fan. He was the one that introduced me to this guy back in the early 80s. Mostly the Dirty Harry movies, not the spaghetti westerns. My dad was a big fan of them, which he is just as equally famous for. But John, 2007, Gran Torino hits the screens. This is his last film he's acting in. Let's all go out and watch his big hurrah. You know, this is the one he's going out in. It was a great film, John. Loved it. Still love it.
Although there's a lot of people criticising it now for
PC
passive,
stuff,
aggressive. Maybe anti-Asian racism.
Yeah. There's a point to it, though.
I think the point was the character was of that generation, and he had been to war.
Yeah, he's very ignorant, you know. But he actually, there's a bit of redemption in the character, you know, throughout the movie, and that's what I like about it. There's growth there. But John,
and his relationship with the young boy shows that transcends racism, and that he you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's 14 years ago that was. 14 years. We're talking
about
time.
Then.
Time flies. Yeah, he was in his mid-70s.
Steve, we were talking about it, and I'm sure we'll get into it. This
he's
guy,
still doing it.
Yeah.
14 years on, he's still acting, he's still directing. You said, what was the film? The Mule?
The Mule.
Yeah, that was supposed to be his last one as well.
2017, I think.
Yeah, 10 years after Gran Torino, yeah.
And now also, I think Sly Stallone was supposed to star in Cry Macho. Pulled out for whatever reason, maybe scheduling issues or something.
Yeah.
And of course, Clint stepped into the role. And
what a guy.
He's done another one.
Clint Eastwood. But John, in a recent interview with the Los Angeles Times via Cinema Blend, Eastwood reflected on his long and iconic career as an actor and director. Eastwood addressed why he continues to make movies even though he's now in his early 90s. The actor says he isn't finished with the industry just yet. Just didn't look right there, but I know what I mean. And implies he'll continue to work until audiences no longer want to see him. That's not going to happen. What the hell am I still working in my for in my 90s? I'm not even going to try and impersonate Clint Eastwood here. Are people going to start throwing tomatoes at you? I've gotten to the point where I wondered if that was enough, but not to the point where I decided it was. If you roll out a few turkeys, they'll tell you soon enough. Every which way but loose. Clint, that was one for the monkey. They were shite. You only did, I think, 2 of them. So there was a couple of turkeys right away. But John, the guy is, as long as audience know, until audiences no longer want to see him, that's not going to be the case. No. This guy's going to be working in his hundreds if he continues with that.
Just as long as he doesn't look like Prince Philip.
He's starting to look that way, John.
Stephen, I was thinking that without going down that route. I was also searching up images of Clint to try and put him on the thumbnail, and I was getting concerned that he was starting to look a bit Philip, and not as bad as Philip in that final photograph of him in the car getting rushed away from the hospital, where he looked truly like a corpse.
Yeah. Oh, they just take it over.
Yes, it has taken over. In Philip's case, he's now gone. And look, not getting into Philip and all of that. You can see what you want about Prince Philip, and there's a scene, and I'm getting sidetracked here.
I don't want to talk about him, but let's talk about him.
What a negative comments against him and saying he was a Nazi and stuff like that, and I couldn't fathom that. I'm not a fan of the Royals, as you know, Stephen, but this guy risked his life, fought in the Mediterranean conflict as a naval officer. He fought against the Nazis. He's not a fucking Nazi. No. That's nonsense.
People
and absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
Crazy. Couldn't fathom it. He's a lot of things, but not a Nazi. But Stephen, I digress. Clint Eastwood explaining why he's still making movies. Look, he doesn't have to explain why he's still making movies. He's making them, and he's quite entitled to. He's been in the industry for 60 years.
Yeah.
I want to say 50, 60 years. He's earned the right to do whatever
probably
the
more
fuck
than that. If he's in his 90s, he's probably been doing it since his 20s. So.
Yeah, so it's 70 years. Yeah, probably about 70 years he's been in the industry. I think he's earned the right to choose when he wants to leave and maybe leave acting, leave directing. It's his decision ultimately. He's a true great, a heavyweight of the Hollywood golden era coming into the modern era. So I don't want to see this guy ever stopping making movies, because look, Stephen, you can speak about his incredible acting career, and of course it was down to him that we've got this rule now where you can't have more than one credited director. I think he stepped in to a role or a film directing. I think it was a western. He took over, and I think there was some issue with recognition, and we've now got a rule now where only one person can be given billing as a director. I think that's why the Russos, the Coen brothers,
they do that.
There's only one single one attributed to directing.
That's probably, I know there was other reasons for it, John. Obviously the Bryan Singer thing with Dexter Fletcher.
That's exactly the point.
That's what they've got to do.
It was a Clint Eastwood.
You can't see a Bryan Singer / Dexter Fletcher film.
And that was down to Clint. So what we're saying is, he's been a legendary guy in the career, and also the acting career, and he's had some landmark things. He's almost the Bosman of acting. The rules that he's put in place. But as good an actor as he's been, in as good a career as he's had, you go into his directing years, and he's had Oscar-winning directed movies, and it's stunning director. I think $1 Million Baby. I think of Gran Torino. I think he directed that. I think of the Flags of Our Fathers, Battle of Iwo Jima. I think it was. He's consistently, and I can go in and I can look up more Clint Eastwood movies because I'm sure I'm missing ones. But he's just been unreal, Stephen. He's almost like a great football player that becomes a great football manager. They're rare. They are rare. There's not many people who have an incredibly distinguished directing and acting career. That's got to be very rare. I can't think of any.
John, it's funny because you talk about that. You think of the Jose Mourinho's, the Alex Ferguson's, the Arsene Wenger's, great managers, shite players. I can't think of many. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Truly great football players that have been on. Guardiola, pretty decent football player, played for Barcelona. Your man, it was Man City, Italian. Mancini. Mancini. The Italians usually are. They're a unique bunch. But Stephen, I'm going to quickly search up because I actually want to look at his work. This is almost going to become a tribute to Clint Eastwood before he even goes. Because I tell you, when the day comes that man goes, it'll be a sad, sad day indeed. I will be truly upset. Stephen, he's actually got more. I should say he's got more. He's actually got more than half of his career directing. And you go back, Richard Jewell, I watched that. That was a couple of years ago, last year, actual fact. No, 2019. That was a great movie. I really enjoyed that. The Mule. You've got Sully, which I actually did enjoy. It's probably not Tom Hanks' best movie, but I did enjoy it. American Sniper was very, very good as well. I think that was Bradley Cooper. G. Edgar, that was with obviously Leonardo. Hereafter, I loved that movie. That was the one with Matt Damon. I think it was the whole tsunami thing, Boxing Day. Incredible film. Invictus, fucking incredible film with Morgan Freeman. So obviously Nelson Mandela, Gran Torino, as she says. Letters from Iwo Jima, Flags of the Fathers, $1 Million Baby, Mystic River, one of my all-time favourite movies with Sean Penn. Space Cowboys was okay. You go through the list, Stephen. And the guy said incredible career. Unforgiven, that was the Western, wasn't it? He done double duty. You take away his acting career and you base it on his directing career. Shit. He's already a legend just by doing that, but he's got, like as you said, maybe about 50-60 years worth of acting behind that as well. Guy's an absolute legend, John.
And that's why he gets to choose.
It's going to be a very sad day when this guy does finally bite the bullet, pardon the pun. But John, standout moments in his career for me are obviously, The Man with No Name. And obviously Dirty Harry as well. But there's always these sporadic films as well that he did. He did one with Charlie Sheen. I think it was called. What's it called? The Deadpool. I can't remember. No, I think that was one of his.
Deadpool was that was one of the Harry Callahan, Dirty Harry ones.
I can't remember. He did one with Charlie Sheen, which was actually not too bad. I can't remember what it's called, but
it was the one with the stalker. It was San Francisco, and he had this psychotic stalker trying to kill him. I fucking loved that as well. I'm trying to remember the name of that movie. Stephen, I grew up with this guy. I, as you know, very close to my grandfather. He was almost a second parent to me. I was never away from his house. Huge fan of Clint Eastwood, a massive Western fan, massive fan of also Dirty Harry, those whole 70s cop things. Huge fan of Columbo, Stephen, as you know. He was a guy that grew up in that era, had a lot of love for those movies. The war movies as well. He was in that classic war movie. I'm trying to remember the name of that. I was going to watch it. I've never seen it.
What era was that from?
It was 1960s, I think, 50s, 60s. It was like he was playing an undercover German officer. He went to get somebody. There was treachery. There was a traitor in their midst.
Unforgiven, John, as well, from 1992. My dad was a big Clint Eastwood fan, big Western fan. He didn't like that film. I don't know why. Gene Hackman was in it as well. I thought it was a good film. The Rookie was a film it was in with Charlie Sheen, which I thought was a good film.
Can you find that war film, Stephen? There was a film. It's a classic war film.
Right, okay, from the 1960s,
50s, 60s.
Paint Your Wagon?
No, it wasn't that one. No, it was a World War II.
Kelly's Heroes?
No,
I don't know.
I'll find it, Stephen. I'll find
it. Bluff?
No, the point is, Stephen.
Hang 'em high. Where Eagles Dare.
Where Eagles Dare, that's it. Where Eagles Dare. Stephen, the
guy's got so many great films in the 1960s.
Oh, fucking unbelievable.
It's not real.
Honestly, I grew up with him. I grew up watching his Western movies. Absolutely love the man with no name. I've got the Dirty Harry box set. I've got the Spaghetti Western box set. Good, the Bad and Ugly. For me, one of the all-time great movies. Stephen, I'd go as far as to say that's a perfect movie. That's an A.
The Good, the Bad and Ugly.
The Good, Bad and Ugly is an A all day long. It's the score. It's the scope of it. The trifecta of these crazy characters. You've got Eli Walk. Was it a Walk? What was his name?
Probably John.
I think Eli he nearly get decapitated in the filming. Those westerns, there was just something about it. They managed to recreate the vibe of the Wild West in the United States and the Canary Islands.
Yeah.
Directed by Italian directors. There was something special about them. They've been, for me, never replicated, never bettered. I wasn't a fan of John Wayne. The Quiet Man's the only one that I'd really watched with John Wayne, and he's got an epic fight sequence in The Quiet Man, by the way.
Yeah.
It goes on for about 10 minutes, almost single shot. But for me, it's always been Clint Eastwood. I've loved the guy, and look, you can get into his politics. And you can say, look, he's a Republican, he's got some strong views and guns and stuff like that. I don't give a fuck about that. He's an older man, he's entitled to his views, you might not agree with him.
He brought something to that genre, John, the Western genre. It was different. It wasn't that whole get off your horse and drink your milk, or that kind of clean cut. It
was almost a beauty
thing. Immaculate clothing on.
Yeah, the poncho.
He had
spitting in the
dirty.
dog.
It was dirty. He had the stubble, he had the cigar in the mouth. He just looked aged. And they just didn't take prisoners. He was he was the anti-hero in those films.
I'm trying to remember, I always get them mixed up, these spaghetti western ones, but what was the one where he basically told them to measure up the coffins for the people, and he shot them and told them, there you go. I'm trying to remember, was that a few dollars more?
It might have been a fistful.
Might be a fistful.
Yeah,
I always get those mixed up.
I always get those two mixed up.
But incredible movie, Stephen, an incredible man. What a legacy. It'll be a truly, truly sad day when he goes.
Yeah.
His film career in general, just acting, directing, all round, producing.
John, I'll say something as well about the Dirty Harry franchise as well. I don't know many franchises. There's a couple of not too good ones in there, but overall,
I think they're pretty good across the board.
Overall, across the board, John, I think there's more hits and misses.
The first one, obviously,
is there 6 films?
I think it's 5.
5 or 6, yeah.
I think it's 5.
I think that's fantastic.
I'd need to go through and write them off. I think you've got something. I'm going to
Magnum
Force. You've got the Deadpool. You've got Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones. I've seen them all, but I always blank the names. The first one's for me is a standout with the Scorpion Killer. Just the music. Pure 70s.
Yeah.
It's that classic 70s composer. I forget his name all the time. He's an absolute fucking incredible composer. And the sniping sequence, the back and forth with him, the battle of wits, and just an incredible performance, man. The jibes at his superiors. Stephen, I modelled myself in this guy on the Dirty Harry characters and on Clint in general. His attitude, his lack of respect for authority, his not give two fucks attitude, the sort of passive aggressiveness with idiots that are in your life. That's the way I am.
John, that's what his characters are like as well.
So that's what I model myself on.
Have you ever seen Clint Eastwood play the total opposite of what you just described there?
No.
He wouldn't.
He's always an authoritative figure. He's a huge guy. He was 6'3", in his heyday. Even now with an absolutely goose back, he's curved away, he's still at 6 foot.
Yeah.
So he was a tall, formidable guy with incredible hair back in the day. It sadly went a little bit. He's still got more than me in his 90s. He was just a great presence, charismatic as hell, a complete unique individual. I can't think of many other people who've had the career. I mean, you can think of your Charlton Hestons and your Yul Brenners back in the early days, but they didn't have the longevity of Clint, and they didn't really go into directing like Clint.
Yep.
You can think of all the other ones, Charles Bronson's, your fucking Richard Burton, was it?
Mm-hmm.
All those other guys, did they go into directing and last into their 90s? Clint is in his own company.
Yep.
Maybe with your man, Douglas, Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
He's probably a company or two.
Yeah.
Realistically, I can't think of anybody else who's had that impact.
Who's been in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Kirk Douglas, man. I mean, I fucking was watching a movie with this guy like 2 years ago. I'm like, he's still alive.
Yep.
It was unbelievable. The movie was like fucking 70 years ago. I'm like, this guy's still alive.
Yeah.
And then he passed away, sadly.
Yeah. You're a Jonah.
I'm a Jonah. Well, hopefully I'm not Jonah-ing Clint. He's an incredible guy. Stephen, look, man, I fucking horrendous day when it comes, because just a great guy. And I was watching Man of Fury with Scott Eastwood.
Yeah.
And he is the fucking double of Clint. He's not as big, but he's
in Gran Torino as well.
Gran Torino. What a guy, man.
Yeah.
And you can see the relationship he's got with his father. They're hugging. They're sort of, they've got that great relationship. So hopefully he's passed all his brilliance on to his son, and he can continue his legacy. He looks brilliant, Stephen. He looks as though he's
a hard act to follow, John. I don't expect him to have the career that Clint has had, but he can make his own career and make a success of it. He's a very talented young lad.
I'd love to see him do a western. if he hasn't already.
Yeah, you never know. But
Get the
John,
one.
just continue doing what you're doing, Clint, because it seems to be keep me going. So
and Stephen, that's the key. Without getting off on a tangent, before we end this topic, we've spoke about it a lot. One of my biggest fears is getting like Alzheimer's or dementia or something. Because I've been around it. I've been around my grandfather that had it. I've been around a great uncle that had it. And the worst thing you can do when you get to that age is slow down and retreat and have a quiet life and lose that verve, that busyness. You need to keep your brain working and busy. This guy's still directing, totally he's still acting, he's sharp as hell at 91. All of the people who get to that age who are still got their marbles and sharp, like so of your Prince Phillips, I should say, they're keeping themselves busy, they're keeping themselves working. My grandfather, who sadly passed away with a brain tumour mid-80s, he was still working. Yeah. Never lost his marbles. That is the key. So he has to keep doing it. So well done, Clint.
Yeah. Yep. Keep doing what
you're
doing.
Long may it continue.
Yeah, exactly.
Love you,
John.
mate.
Yeah, why not? John, Marcia Lucas, you know the name. It's George's ex-wife. Mm-hmm. And the lady...
The woman who saved Star Wars.
Star Wars, the original film. As you've seen in Empire Dreams.
Yeah. The
whole editing mess that was left to her to sort out, she fixed it. It became a hit because of that. It was down to the editing. But Marcia Lucas, the editing mastermind behind the original Star Wars movies, gets candid about her feelings towards Disney's sequel trilogy. Now, this is music to my ears, John, what she's got to say. And this is coming in from Screen Rant because sometimes I can't really put together my thoughts on that trilogy as a whole and how it was handled.
That's
and
because
some of but I get wound up and I can't really express the way I really want to.
Steve, that's because
instead, I review films and say I like them right after. I should not do that. I don't think we've done that since, John.
It's denial, Stephen.
I think you're wanting it to work.
Because it was the same with the prequel trilogy as well. When they initially came out, huge Star Wars fans who wanted to reconnect with that world, who only really had video games and literature of the expanded universe in the intervening years. They wanted it to be so good that they were almost, projecting things onto the movies that weren't there in the aftermath. And then as time went on, resentment started to grow because they realised, look, they aren't that great. There's elements of these movies that are okay and some are brilliant, like Christopher Lee and stuff like that, but most of it's shit, and the resentment started to go. So you're right, Stephen, that was one of the biggest mistakes we ever made, and I think it's something we need to learn from.
I think we have
come right out the theatres and reviewing something, because you say things that ultimately in hindsight, looking back at it, more views of it, you realise is a nonsense. But I was going to say something there. You says you can't really share your thoughts on it. You can't.
Sometimes you just can't put it into words.
You can't put it. Well, Steve, that's because they couldn't put it into words, and they couldn't actually combine thoughts together in the hierarchy of Lucasfilm creating these movies. So if the actual creators can't share thoughts and bring minds together, what chance have we got? The people watching it.
I mean,
but we'll get into that, I'm sure.
I think we came out of. To be fair, I think we all came out of The Force Awakens with high hopes that, this is a great setup. We know that it's a bit of a rehash of A New Hope, but there's things in there that are interesting enough. Who Snoke is. We're going to find out what Luke has been doing. Why has he been hiding?
Kylo Ren's the ultimate bad.
He's the ultimate evil. Yeah,
he's killed his father.
There's no redeeming factors about this character.
Consolidated his darkness.
Where Rey came from, who she related to, is she Luke's daughter.
And at that point, not that annoying. Rey has to be said, a scavenger from
sympathetic thoughts towards her, and there was high hopes. The Last Jedi killed all that. And John, when we came out of the screening of The Force Awakens, you, Kevin, and myself. We went for a coffee, we discussed it, we were very hyper, can't wait, I've got 2 years to wait for that next film. Wind 2 years on, we come out of The Last Jedi, we go for a coffee.
It was silence.
I'm sitting silent.
It's like a fucking mod.
I'm like, I don't know what to make of this. I honestly don't. And I'm trying to I'll start again. I'm trying to collect my thoughts because I knew we were going to do the review, which I hope are not on public display anymore.
The biggest gripe, no, they're not. The biggest gripe I had with Steve was the handle of Luke. As you know, for me, Star Wars is Luke Skywalker. It's the story of the Skywalkers, and obviously Leia to a degree, but Leia made the choice to go into politics. She didn't want to become a Jedi. Seemingly she changed her mind in the intervening years between the original trilogy and the sequel, because Luke trained her, as we've seen in that montage. But she never wanted to become a Jedi. She wanted to be a politician. So it was all about Luke. He was the only one who could save the day. So he was Star Wars for me.
John, I always get the feeling that Kathleen Kennedy and that crew just could not wait to get rid of Solo. They couldn't wait to get rid of Luke.
Really strange.
So they could concentrate all their energies onto Leia.
Which would be fine if it was done right.
Well, for the final film, I would have accepted that, John, but sadly Carrie Fisher passed away and they still pursued this. They still pursued they wanted her presence no matter what. They already knew that she'd passed away in 2016 and had 7 months or whatever. No, maybe a year.
Longer, yeah.
The
fucking year. It was December. Yeah, a year.
To rewrites and reshoot. They
had a living, breathing actor who could actually step in.
They also had Leia shoot out into space. There you go. That's the moment. She's dead.
And what moment it was, by the way, with a little sort of toy box.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. I think it was a Leia theme.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
If she'd passed away in that moment.
And instead of, we're going to kill Luke off in this one, but we can't now because we've not got Carrie Fisher for the third and final film. So what we'll do is we'll just end Leia's arc here.
Not CGI.
It's forced. No, exactly.
Luke out of existence.
And we'll just carry on Luke into the final film where we can kill him off in the third film, which I would have accepted.
Yeah.
But this whole episode 7 was the pursuit of finding Luke Skywalker, only to find this bitter old man who's, I'm going to say barely in the film. It doesn't feel like he's in the film a lot. He probably is, John. I've not seen it in a while.
No, he isn't.
But
no, he's not in it a lot. There's more actually.
And it's all about reluctance and negativity, and it's only that final moment, which I don't think was enough. I don't think it was enough on crate.
No.
What they did. There wasn't enough there.
There was more time spent with Rose Tico and Finn.
Yeah. Yeah, the Canto Bite, yeah.
And Canto Bite. And with DJ.
They cut out Luke's mourning of Han.
To focus on a sequence, an anti-animal cruelty sequence that took the story nowhere. Because they came back and it was all for nothing. So there wasn't anywhere near enough of what. But Steve, we'll get into our thoughts, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we'll get back into this, dissecting everything, because it's my favourite thing in the world is to dissect this.
We'll let Marcia have a moment here first.
Because I do would like, that's not even fucking English, I would love to see Ryan Johnson's answer to this.
Yeah.
Love to see his answer.
This is what it says in Screen Rant anyway.
Was she a man, baby?
Now adding fuel to the fire is Lucas, who served as an editor on all 3 original Star Wars films. Lucas was interviewed for J.W. Rinsler's recently published book, Howard Kazanjian, a producer's life, and in her conversation with the late author, she did not hold back on her feelings regarding Disney's movies. The conversation took place between the releases of The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, which we were just talking about.
I'll have to see it after The Rise of Skywalker.
And a snippet shared online by Twitter user Jedi Scum via IndiaWire. Lucas said this: "I like Kathleen. I always liked her. She was full of beans. She was really smart and really bright. Really wonderful woman, and I liked her husband Frank." That's Frank Marshall, by the way.
Coffee beans.
"I liked him a lot. Now she's running Lucasfilm and making movies. It seems to me that Kathy Kennedy and J.J. Abrams don't have a clue about Star Wars. They don't get it, and J.J. Abrams is writing these stories. When I saw the movie where they kill Han Solo, I was furious. I was furious when they killed Han Solo. Absolutely, positively, there was no rhyme or reason to it. I thought, you don't get the Jedi story. You don't get the magic of Star Wars. You're getting rid of Han Solo. They have Luke disintegrated, they kill Han Solo, they killed Luke Skywalker, and they don't have Princess Leia anymore, and they're spitting out movies every year, and they think it's important to appeal to a women's audience, so their main character is this female who's supposedly to have Jedi powers, but we don't know how she got the Jedi powers or who she is. It sucks. The storyline is terrible, just terrible, awful. You can quote me, J.J. Abrams, Kathy Kennedy, talk to me.
Talk to me.
Great minds, John.
Stir of Echoes. Yeah. Oh, what a movie. The great Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Stephen, she can talk to me as well any day, because everything she says there is absolutely true. The storylines were terrible. They did suck. There was no rhyme or reason. There was no connection between any of the 3 movies. There was a complete disconnect in terms of creative discourse between your 2 directors. Should have been 3. And to be honest, if they hadn't went down that ship at bringing Ryan Johnson in, they actually get a competent person in who could take a story on and evolve what JJ did.
But it's funny.
And involve Luke. We could have had Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah. Ryan Johnson is a better filmmaker than JJ Abrams.
Yes. And he's a better writer, Stephen. Yeah. But sadly, I'll go with this may be controversial, but see if you got Ryan in to do the first movie.
Yeah.
It may have been a better
it would have set the tone,
because he'd have done a better job of it. I'm absolutely convinced Ryan would have handled Luke's storyline. He'd have
the balls to carry
the balls to deal with the character, because he at least did in The Last Jedi. You can disagree with his handling, but he had the balls to take the character and actually do something with it. JJ was fucking terrified of Luke Skywalker. He didn't want him in his movie.
No.
He didn't want R2-D2 in his movie. He didn't want any of these. And look, as she says something, I think she says something about they don't get Star Wars. Well, they clearly don't. They're clearly not Star Wars fans. Kathleen Kennedy's not a Star Wars fan. Because anybody who grew up with these movies, and look, I missed the movies when they were originally out. I grew up in the 90s watching them. Anyone that's a fan of these movies connects with Luke. His story, his hero's journey is universal, regardless of race, gender, age. Doesn't fucking matter. It's a universal hero story that anybody can connect with. Little girls can be inspired by Luke.
Yeah.
Little boys can be inspired by Luke. You don't need to have a female fucking lead be in there to connect with little girls. I'm sure Luke connected with loads of girls. In fact, I know he did, because you've got that a Star Wars girl, whatever her name is, on YouTube. Great channel, by the way.
Yep.
Huge fan of Luke Skywalker, about the same age as me.
Yep.
So it's a fucking nonsense. So anybody that grew up with these movies would not have did what they did to Luke Skywalker. It was a bastardisation of that character. It flew directly in the face of what he was all about in the original trilogy. He was the ultimate good. He's seen goodness in his evil father, one of the most evil people in the universe. He redeemed him. For him to go on a journey 20, 25, 30 years and turn into what he turned into made no sense to me. And that confirmed to me that she wasn't a fan of Star Wars. It confirmed to me that JJ wasn't a fan of Star Wars when he shat the bed and utilising the character, not putting him in his movie. Passed the buck to Ryan, who was put into a corner, had to use him. And nothing that Ryan could have done would have been great.
That was the thing. As good as that cliffhanger was, we knew that episode 8 was going to have to take place right after episode 7, because there's no way around it.
Yep, and then that backs him into a corner.
Yeah.
He has to continue that. The First Order are then on their heels. He has to deal with that storyline, continue that in a meaningful way, make it work. Then he has to do something with Rey and Luke without feeling forced into it, just tonally and structurally and pacing wise being an absolute disaster of a movie. It was all on J.J. Abrams, I'm sorry, and it was all on Kathleen Kennedy. A disaster of a team. And then for them to come back for the third movie, and what you see what it does with the third movie, and what she says, we don't know where she got her powers from, we don't know how she is this person, this powerful force. The way they explain it in the third movie is a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Palpatine comes back, she's a Palpatine. Stephen, why the fuck did they use Obi-Wan's voice in The Force Awakens? That was J.J. Abrams that did that.
Yeah.
Rey, these are your first steps. He doesn't know her.
Yeah.
He's had no part in her life.
She
should have been a Kenobi.
Yeah, she's a Kenobi, yeah.
She should have been a Kenobi. Yeah. Is it me? Doesn't make any fucking sense. It's illogical. It's insanity.
John, I would have preferred if they were going to go down the road with Rey after The Last Jedi, that she should have continued being a nobody. Mm-hmm. It would have made more. It might have been disappointing to a lot of people that she wasn't Luke's kid or Han Solo's kid or Obi-Wan Kenobi's kid.
It was a precedent,
but it would have made sense. It would have made much more sense than bringing Palpatine back. John,
Anakin was a nobody.
I was starting to think I was a fucking weirdo after Celebration in 2019.
Yeah,
when everybody was going,
woo! I remember you, yeah.
You know, when this, the Ian McDiarmid, who I love, and I love Palpatine as a character, but he was done in Return of the Jedi, and once they brought him back, that killed that original trilogy for a lot of people, because that was Anakin's redemption and his sacrifice
if you
as well.
Realise that it's expensive fan fiction that doesn't exist.
If I was Hayden Christensen when he was asked to come back and do a fucking one-line voice audio thing, I'd have told him to ram it.
Yeah.
I'd have said, no, I'm not coming back unless I'm coming back as Anakin Skywalker in person, as a Force ghost, and having some meaning to that character's arc, rather than do what I did once did cameo. Shit, like that. It was terrible the way it was handled. I wasn't overexcited about Palpatine's return at all. I thought it didn't make any sense. It just screamed desperation to me as well.
And that's what it was.
We came out of that.
And it shows
the only time I've ever come out of a Star Wars film, and we came out watching Solo, which I thought was a better film.
It's the only time I've ever been to see a Star Wars film once, I think, the theatre.
I've not watched it since.
Never watched it since.
I'm not no interest in it at all. And it's not being a man baby or anything like that, because I'm not a man baby.
It's not good enough, Steve.
No. As a film, it's not.
And structurally and logically, the story makes no sense. I mean, you actually think about it, it takes place in a very small timeline.
Yeah. The trilogy, yeah.
Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
You're talking weeks.
Nothing happens.
The original trilogy took place over maybe about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
That's
fucking Steve. There's probably
2 weeks.
There's probably about 3 years between the first two movies, and then another jump, because we know for a fact there's a jump, because Han's been in carbonite for a long, long time. Luke's now a master.
Yeah.
And he's constructed his own lightsaber. Huge gap. It's probably took place over about 8 years, 9 years, a decade.
Possibly, I'm not sure, John. But
whereas that trilogy is about 2 weeks, as you says. It's a fucking joke. Everything about it was rushed.
Yeah.
It wasn't well thought out. You're taking actors' opinions on and characters. I mean,
John,
Oscar Isaac. I love Oscar Isaac.
The amount of things that's happening in that fucking fortnight was more than what happened to me in 2 weeks in Esterty in Spain.
Steve, it's like a fucking EastEnders fortnight.
Yeah.
You get murders, you get people fucking
Buried
getting into rehab.
There's
all sorts going on.
Yeah.
It's EastEnders on steroid meets Star Wars, which is ironic because that's how they say the Mandalorian feels, but it's handled by proper Star Wars fans, so it actually works.
Well, this is
Steve, you've got actors like Oscar Isaac, who I respect, a great actor.
Yep.
Deciding the course of the character.
Yeah.
Oh, I want more. But you were going to kill him off, JJ. Just kill him off.
John Marcia Lucas. I hope I'm saying her name right. I always thought it was Marcia. It might be. That might be the way you say it. I'm not sure. But the thing is, 100% agree with her.
I think it is Marcia.
I would love more female filmmakers, directors, editors coming out and calling these people out. Females, that is, because I don't think there's enough females speaking out about these people. Because you look at the likes of the directors, the female directors that were involved in The Mandalorian are very talented.
Yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, you know, and
Deborah Chow.
I get the ones that are working within Lucasfilm can't. You know, Marcia Lucas can, because she's been there, done it. A bit like your man, producer Gary Kurtz.
Gary Kurtz, yeah.
Always,
sadly passed away.
Yeah, always spoke his mind. Didn't always agree with George Lucas as well, but that's what was needed in these films. Someone to say, listen, that's shite, don't do that.
Especially with that universe, Stephen, because it can go wrong very quickly.
Yep.
If you don't handle it, you have to handle it very tenderly.
Yeah.
And he had the right people around him, his wife, your Kurtzes, to be fair, Kasdans as well.
Yep.
They kept it on an even keel. And sadly, when it went into the prequels, George, he was surrounded by sycophants.
Yeah.
And when you go into the sequels, surrounded by sycophants and people who have not got a fucking clue about the legacy, about the stories, about anything. And that's why it was ultimately a dumpster fire of a trilogy, a disaster.
Yeah.
And they turned a great brand in Star Wars, it's almost, I don't know, Stephen, there was something special, there was an aura around Star Wars. I mean, when I was a little kid, get into the likes of Toys R Us, you had the Star Wars section, you had the Stormtroopers. I wanted the fucking Luke Skywalker and Han Solo Stormtrooper suits from A New Hope, the trash compactor. I wanted them for years. There was an aura.
But there's something attractive about something that's limited.
Yeah.
You look at that original trilogy as it was. It always left you in the tender hooks of what could become afterwards.
Yeah.
It left you intrigued about what happened before. This was before sequels and prequels were there, and I loved that. Just having those three films kept me going, and we didn't have anything else apart from, as you said, the novels and the video games and stuff.
I tell you, the novels were better than anything they did in that Disney trilogy. Mara Jade stuff. Yeah. Thrones.
I just think it works when something's limited. You know, as much as I like the Rolling Stones, they're not the Beatles in my book, because they just keep going on and on and on and on.
Same
and
with
on
Nirvana,
and on.
Steve, in the grunge
it's
era.
Diminishing returns every time.
Yeah,
exactly, John. Something about the Beatles stopping after 7 years, or 8 years, whatever it was. Something really attractive about that to me. You know that you want more, but you kind of respect.
Yeah. They get out when it was good.
They get out when it was good.
Yeah.
And it was the same for Star Wars for me. I think this proves the point, John, that since Return of the Jedi, Rogue One, Force Awakens, fair dues, they're decent films. They are decent, enjoyable films, Solo to an extent as well, but nothing has came close to that original trilogy since. That's when Star Wars should have became live action. Maybe not in the 1980s or 1990s. Too early. We got fucking Battle of Endor and that other Ewok shite, Caravan of Courage. I'm glad they didn't do it then. If they weren't going to bring Luke back, Mark Hamill, in the 1990s to continue that story, then the TV was the thing, and TV is the thing now.
It is the thing, and that's what I've said for months now, years actually, since the Mandalorian 1 came out. What, about a year and a half? They should go to TV, should focus on TV, because their movies are, how shall I put it, divisive to say the least, and shite to say the worst. So just don't do it. Focus on TV. And Stephen, you're right, finally, what you says about the trilogy, keeping it at 3 movies. It does, it keeps it compact, it keeps it special. It's like great standalone movies as well. And that's why I don't want to see Back to the Future ever get touched.
What's that saying? They say, you know,
less is more.
Yeah, that as well, but it's that, you know, keep people wanting more, you know. I can't remember what the saying is.
It's supply and demand.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's like, I wonder what happened, you know, when they're referencing, you know, Anakin Vader killed Anakin. How did that work? And and then I wonder what became of Luke Skywalker after Return of the Jedi. Yeah,
things like that. They did great jobs in those original trilogy of filling the imagination. I don't know if it was different back in the day. People had better imaginations and that could sustain them. But very needy now.
Yeah,
it's instant gratification. They need everything. And they need to hold your hands.
Yeah.
I remember playing video games back in the 90s. They've been fucking unbelievably difficult. You had to phone up a fucking number to get help with it. Now, everything's fucking on your hands here. Hold my hands, go into YouTube and search out how you do it. We'll just play the game for you.
Yep.
Everything is easy now. Everything's on rails. Shite.
John, we're going to stay with your childhood here, and it's probably a film you shouldn't have seen in your childhood, but you probably did. It's all about the Shawshank Redemption, or as the novel was called, Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, and why Shawshank Redemption removed Rita Hayworth from the movie's title. The full title of Stephen King's novella is Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. I'll say it once again. So why did Frank Darabont remove the actress's name? Now, it was something that always intrigued me. You see it, the titles, when they're coming up at the very beginning of the film, based on the short novel by Stephen King, Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption.
I need to read the book, by the way. I've not read a single Stephen King novel.
I think I did The Stand, but I'd already seen the TV series from the mid-90s. Yeah. So it's not the same thing. Reading something fresh that you've not seen. Yeah. The thing is, John, I'd seen most of Stephen King's stuff before I even considered reading these books. But
Stephen, look, it's the same as me. I like to watch, I think, the movies or stuff that's been adapted from the novels and visualise the actors and their voices. Yeah. And it makes it better. So now if I go back and actually watch it, go back and watch Shawshank, or read it and read Shawshank, read all of those, The Shining, Doctor Sleep, I can now visualise Ewan McGregor and Jack Nicholson.
Do you know something? I think The Running Man was Stephen King related as well. I'm pretty sure
everything that's been out in the last 40 years.
I think he went under another name.
That
was a great film. John. I know you like one of the quotes in there.
Oh, Stephen, it was a great satirical film about what's going on in society and the media and stuff like that, control things, isn't it? Yeah.
But this is coming in from Screen Rant once more, and although not the first time a popular movie adaptation changed the name of King's novella, like Rob Reiner's Stand By Me, adapted from King's The Body, Golden Age actress Rita Hayworth being in the title seemed to be something that would draw in audiences. In reality, Darabont decided to remove her name from the Shawshank Redemption's title for a good reason, namely so that in Hollywood wouldn't think he was making a biopic on Rita Hayworth, which makes sense. According to Metal Floss, when the news hit that the director and frequent Stephen King collaborator Frank Darabont was adapting Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, he received plenty of audition requests from the agents of supermodels and actresses who said they would be perfect for playing the lead. It's funny, John, because these agents and
was that what the book was even about, though?
I think that was the title was there because
just because it says he's making a biopic on Rita Hayworth. Yeah.
But you're thinking, these agents would be going, right, we've got a perfect person that could play the Rita Hayworth. What's a Shawshank Redemption? What is it? Yeah. Nobody. That doesn't matter. We can get someone.
Again, though, having never read the book, I presume Rita Hayworth isn't actually in the book. She's just the inspiration for the person stuck in prison to escape. Yeah. He looks at the poster. He dreams of probably being with her at some point. Never going to happen. Then he uses that poster to escape. Yeah. That's exactly what happens in the actual movie. By the way, you were right. It was Richard Bachman who was the pseudonym.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Him.
Yeah.
And it was Stephen King that did the Running Man. What a guy.
Yeah, he's some
I
guy.
slag him off, man. I'm going to scare the hell out of you. Pictures director. But I tell you, for a guy to be in a drunken stupor for most of his younger years and create what he created, brilliance.
During Trump's presidency, his Twitter feed was amazing.
Oh, I fucking hated him, so that's good enough
amazing.
for me. Sadly, though, looks like your man Chapman. Stranger.
John. Weird. Once we come off the show, I'm going to show you something that's going to spook you out about that, because I know that you like the whole Paul is dead thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you went down a rabbit hole with that.
Oh,
There's one with Chapman.
People combining his face with Fall.
Yeah, there's one with Chapman and Stephen King, which I'll show you. You'll be right down your street. You'll like that.
But having Jared Leto combining.
It doesn't really matter if Hayworth's name is in the title or not. It's a great film, isn't it?
Yeah, Stephen, look, you know my thoughts on this. I reviewed it. One of my all-time favourite movies, if not my favourite movie of all time.
Do the movie review
we
as
did,
well?
Yeah. We reviewed
it. It was one of the early ones,
Steve, just everything about it. We were speaking about it before we came on. You watch this movie, it comes on the TV, it could be any point in the movie, and you're like, right, I'm just going to sit and watch it. It sucks you in. It's got an aura. Speaking about Star Wars and aura, this movie's got an aura. It just feels like a nice, I don't know, a nice room. You're settling in. It's battering it down outside with rain. It's the middle of November.
It's a Sunday movie, isn't it? It's one of those ones you like to sit just
No,
and
but
chill.
see, I'm just talking about a vibe. It's almost like sitting in a nice house, maybe sitting in the bath, chilling, and it's battering down outside. You feel, thank fuck I'm not some homeless guy out there.
It's a film you can indulge in, yeah.
Yeah, you just sit and it makes you feel like you're sitting in a nice cosy place. You watch it and you just watch it to the end, and it's special.
Yeah.
It's the writing, it's the music,
the
incredible acting, the actors, how fucking tall the actors are. Anybody's not aware, I'm obsessed with fucking height. Actors' heights, I always search it up, I'm a freak. But that cast was fucking massive. William Sadler was got my size. The rest of them are all giants. They're all like fucking 6'2", 6'3", 6'5", 6'6". They're massive. It's one of the tallest casts you will ever see in the history of cinema.
John, you had to be tall.
Warden Norton was 6'2".
You had to be tall for those sisters.
Jesus,
you had to be able to handle yourself.
Unbelievable, man. Yeah. Honestly, Captain Hadley, I think Clancy Brown, 6'4".
Yeah.
Fucking gigantic. But so many great moments, Stephen. The fresh fish moment, the mop. Keep your eye on the mop, Andy. Moment. Him working out the deals with the guards. The bribery, Brooks' suicide, the whole library thing, him writing away, the twins, the sort of Italian singers moment, the freedom.
San Wataneo.
The young, vibrant rebel guy that he brings in and tries to rejuvenate him, redeem him, and then the death of him. It's just a special movie, man. The music at the end, the sort of like piano, the shot of the Pacific. One of the all-time great movies. And look, it doesn't matter whether Rita Hayworth's in there or not. She is in there. Yeah. She's on the poster. And that's what inspires him. He uses that as a foil to get out. Just a fucking... Stephen, it blows my mind that never get any recognition. Understand the 90s was unreal. You had Tom Hanks and his
Morgan Freeman had a theory about that, about the title itself, didn't he?
Yeah, it was too convoluted.
Yeah.
I think he's probably told it multiple times, but I like to watch these Oxford University things. They get the famous people on the interview.
Yeah.
He was talking about the box office. I think they asked why did it not perform at the box office, but then become a cult classic. And he says the name, it was too unmemorable.
Yeah.
It's like the
which is funny, it's not now, but
the Shawshank, the what was it he says? It's like the
actual quotes were in the article, John, but I've actually closed it.
And he's probably right, it was convoluted, and we've seen that in real time the last couple of years. The fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, had to change the name. It was too convoluted. People are really fucking stupid. The general public are really fucking stupid, so you have to dumb down titles. They're really fucking stupid.
I've never said that title before.
Anybody that fucking votes in guys like Trump and Boris Johnson, really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Macron, really fucking stupid. Really stupid.
It's funny, John, I can pronounce more Indian films titles than I can some of the ones that have come out in the last few years.
Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. You need to have a...
It's a shite title, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a shite title.
I'll try to be clever.
And it was a shite movie as well.
Yeah.
And they put Ewan McGregor in as a misogynist. Fuck away, he is a misogynist. He's cheating his wife for 40 years or something like that. He's not even that old. 20 years.
Married when he was 10.
It's a fuck, man. Yeah. We're going off in tangents about Ewan McGregor here, but I'm going to get into it. See the people went after Ewan McGregor for going out with whatever her name is and leaving his wife. The guy is not getting... I mean, he's what, late 40s, 50s? Let him live his life. He wants to live his life. He's getting to that age where he's not going to be bogged down in an unhappy life. Let him fucking live his life and live his best life. Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I'd leave his wife for her, I know, let's be honest.
John, before we go.
Yeah.
8,000 subscribers.
Yes.
You want to say anything?
Well, I'm going to bring it up and give you the exact subscriber tally right now because it's actually above that now.
It's above it, yeah.
But yeah, incredible. We're at 8,027 subscribers.
Fantastic.
We've been really, really unbelievable the last week or so. It's went off the charts, and it's all thanks to Prabhudeva. And us, look, just innocently watching Hey Rama Rama and seeing Prabhudeva at the end and being wowed by his dancing and like, who is this guy? And Ruth coming in and a couple others saying that's Prabhudeva. We went down a rabbit hole with him. And look, an incredible community. They're supporting it. No, not just him, but there's loads of others. Telepathy, all of these incredible actors. And it's a really strong Indian community, we're not going to lie here, who are coming in and they're backing us, and we really appreciate it. We appreciate it tremendously because we're enjoying the journey. Going down and watching these movies,
John,
watching these actors.
Enjoy the comments.
Yeah.
We're getting comments every day.
Yeah, and they're supportive in the main. You're always going to have a rogue couple of comments in there, but in the main, brilliant support. Really positive, pushing content to, so we appreciate it. We appreciate 8,000 subscribers, man. And long may it continue, because look, I'm going in for 100.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about 10.
I'm
not thinking about 20. I'm thinking about 100,000. And
John, it's funny because this time last year we were pushing for 1,000.
Yeah.
We got 1,000, and I think since we got 1,000, it's really.
They say that though. They say on YouTube it's
and
a
I think
tough
once
nut.
you get to 10,000, then it does start to.
Yeah, it's a tough nut. They say it's a very tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
And once you get
it's all
it,
about hard work and persistence, John. And I would have to say, I know we're complimenting.
No, but Stephen, we've seen other channels who
John,
came
I think
round.
we've worked really hard at this, and I'm not wanting to blow our own trumpet here, but people don't realise the commitment this takes, because we've been there, started with a lot of people that we were very interested in who were starting at the same time as. They're not on the planet anymore.
No,
and I don't mean they've died. They've just gave up.
Yeah.
It's too much time consuming for them. You've really got to have a passion for this. Don't go into this thinking you're going to be the next John Compare. Don't go into this thinking you're going to make lots of money.
Because you're not.
Don't.
No.
And you've just got to be passionate about the content. You've got to be passionate about
and be a bit
film.
of a tension here.
Well, I'm not, John. I don't think you are either. I think we talk like this when we're not.
Yeah. Hello. Well, yeah.
When we're not on camera, we can talk about film and TV.
Steve, that's why we're doing it.
And that's what we're doing. We're just putting it in front of camera. That's all we're doing.
That's why we did it. Because we were having discussions and we were having debates and stuff like that.
John, it was at Starbucks after Star Wars films. I went, why don't we just do this as a show? Because
we were doing it. We were seeing the likes of Clyder doing it, and we thought, look, we have these conversations. Why not? People may not watch it. They may. Fucking go for it. We're enjoying it anyway.
Yep.
And we've been sticking at it, Stephen. It's 2-3 years now.
Yep.
Audio into video. We've really only been doing YouTube for about a year and a half, isn't it? 2019.
Movie Burner Entertainment started in 2017.
Yeah.
January.
It was writing
for
about a year. Then it was audio for about a year.
Yep.
I think we started video late 2019.
2018, John.
2018. So it's about 2 years, 2.5 years. We've been doing it 3 years. And look, long may it continue. As I say, I'm enjoying it. You're enjoying it. Not bored.
No.
And look, I'm going to pay tribute to my fucking production as well, because I think that production's pretty fucking decent.
John, I watched their first live one not that long ago, and it was basic to
Stephen,
say the least.
we've got fucking better productions and channels that have got 100, 200, 400, 800,000 subscribers. Because we speak with a Scottish accent, we're fucked.
Yeah.
We have got better production, better visuals, better audio than channels that are 20 times bigger than us.
Yeah.
But I think that speaks volumes for the viewers on YouTube more than us.
John, but the people that have came to watch us,
appreciate it,
and the people that have subscribed to us aren't that bothered about our accents. Sometimes they'll say, well, I like what you do, but I can't really understand everything you're saying.
Nathan Phillips.
I've seen that one. But I think, John, that's the biggest compliment you can have, that they still want to stay around, they still want to watch what you're doing, they're still interested in what you have to say, even though sometimes it is hard for them to understand. We're not going to change.
And I'm happy to be getting compared to a Premier League football player as well. So cheers for that.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll continue what we're doing.
Yeah, we certainly will, Stephen. I'll be doing this till I'm old and grey.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I'll be doing this till I'm old and grey. Fucking right I will. I see no reason why not. Get all the equipment, and I've got a passion for movies.
Yeah,
and I'm still young, and you're still young
John,
as well,
talking
Stephen.
About equipment, there's something I showed you the other day, and I think we should get it. I think it would be good.
Yeah. Yes, because it's a pain in the fucking arse using a keyboard.
I think it'd be great, John. And I saw it on John Compare show.
John uses it. Yeah.
Did you watch his watch around video?
John's got an unbelievable setup, man. Look, I'm not going to lie, he's a huge inspiration. Incredible fucking guy. And look, I don't know how he continues to speak for 4 or 5 hours, sometimes 3 hours in a day. Companion videos, live shows.
Doesn't breathe.
He's an incredible. Listen, he is a huge inspiration. I know for a fact you're inspired by him as well, Stephen. You actually asked. He actually gave you advice before we started.
He did, yeah.
So you watch him. You watch his setup. To me, he's the greatest movie news channel on YouTube.
Yeah,
country
John. He was doing the movie blog. I think the website was called back in the early 2000s, before anyone was doing anything like that.
Yeah. That's the key.
Yeah.
Getting in first. We didn't.
No.
I was so immature back in those days, Stephen. It would have been terrible. I was playing Call of Duty and stuff like that back in those days. It would have ended really badly if we were to do live shows back then. Wouldn't have ended well. I was a completely different person. But look, on that note, I'm going to end the show. What is your thoughts on the topics we've touched upon? What do you make about that headline? What do you make about Clint Eastwood, 91, grand old age, grand old painter, dad lad? Hopefully not. What do you make about him doing movies and doing them well and directing? What do you make about the other topics? I'm not going to go through them. I'm really going to try and condense these topics at the end of the show. I'll linger way too fucking long.
There's only 3.
Yeah, but I'm going to linger. I'm going to leave it anyway. Rita Hayworth. And finally, the other one, let's bring it up the one.
Marcia.
Marcia. What were you calling her?
Marcia.
Marcia. Well, Marcia. Yeah. Italian.
Yeah.
Italiano. What do you make it, Marcia? Luca? I can't speak. Luca Connell. He's away to Queen's Park now. This is why I'm going to condense it, Stephen, because it goes on too long. And I can't end the fucking show.
John, did you notice how succinct I was on Friday? And you weren't. I just
can't, man.
It's hard. It is.
I can't do it. And we've had this before when we've done audio shows. When you try to end shows, it ends fucking really badly. And then
that's how I do the intro and you do the end. Because I can't end either.
Marcia Lucas, though, absolutely fucking eviscerating J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy. What's your thoughts on that? You can comment down below if you get anything to say about anything down below in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel and hit the follow button over on Twitch if you want to see more content like this in the future, and you will get it. But until then, I'm not going to breathe. Me and Stephen are done. See you tomorrow. I'll be on my Todd. Bye bye.
Mic off.